What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, just want to give a friendly little reminder for those of you who like the raw, uncensored, unfiltered, unadulterated content that I used to put up on here. Unfortunately, due to YouTube increasingly stringent guidelines, I can't talk the way I used to talk on here. But I do have a Patreon and I do have a Rumble. And the Patreon is a $2 tier where I talk about everything that's going on. The main things. The $5 tier is for those of you who want to hear me go on and go in on LeBron James, La Media, Clutch Sports, all of that. Thank you to the nearly 30 people that have signed up so far on the $5 tier. Thank you to the 450 that are now all together on the Patreon. So salute to you guys, man. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So, poor Deandre Ayton. Poor Deandre Ayton. I mean, how is he to survive? Well, he got to sleep on an air mattress. I mean, Lord have mercy with the inhumane treatment. An air mattress? Lord have mercy. I mean, look, man, I seen Destitute Poverty and those old footage of those poor backwater towns in the deep south in the 30s and 40s that lived in shacks and dirt floors and holes in the ceiling exposed to the weather, the elements, infestations in the projects, back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, where the rats were gnawing on the babies' toes, and the landlords weren't doing nothing about it, and roaches everywhere. Nah, but I thought that was bad. But Deandre Ayton, Lord, he has to sleep on an air mattress, y'all. Lives in a palatial home, worth makes $30 million a year, but he has to sleep on an air mattress. I mean, what do we expect athletes to have to? Athletes should not have to endure this, right? So, this person, I don't usually talk about the dead ball era, but shout out to the person that sent this to me. Because I remember reading about this years ago. This person here, his name is Ray Caldwell. And he played baseball during the dead ball era, the early part of the 20th century. This is the difference in mentality between those athletes back then who literally had to be plumbers and all those other things during the off season because they weren't really making that much money. You know what I'm saying? Back then, especially in the beginning of the 1920s, when we went through a little bit of depression. But anyway, this guy that they'll call a plumber, right? This man back in 1919 was struck by lightning on August 24th, 1919. Now, today, with the weather like that inclement, they wouldn't even been playing the game. They would have called the game. But they were playing on August 24th, 1919 during a raging thunderstorm. Ray Caldwell was struck by lightning in the ninth inning. And he was unconscious after he got struck by lightning. I mean, usually people die after they get struck by lightning. He had to be revived. Right? Went back into the game after being revived. And then 17 days later, he pitched a no-hitter at New York. And the very next season, won 20 games for the 1920 world champion Indians. So this guy gets struck by lightning. And goes back in the game. 2 weeks later, pitches a no-hitter for the Cleveland Indians. And the next season won 20 games. He's a 20-game winner for the world champion Cleveland Indians. See, these are the types of things that we know about, we've read about. And that's why consciously, when these guys complain about, not getting massages and complain about, delays in their flights and having to drive in the snow, it's too cold for practice, stuff like that, man, I just can't respect these guys, man. Just can't. These guys make millions and millions of dollars, and they complain more than anybody else. They live in a bubble, and they don't. I think they don't. These guys have been coddled for so long since grade school. They don't understand the real world, and I don't even blame them. Sometimes it's the people around them that create this false reality for them. These people live in an alternate reality. The fact that he would even come out of his mouth and complain about humanity and an air mattress. That's something a pampered, silver spoon aristocrat would complain about. And I've already seen how, behind the scenes, a lot of these players have nothing but contempt for fans. They look down on us. They got to hide it because they don't want to hurt the product. But sometimes it comes out. Sometimes it comes out when they say, you guys got to live your lives and I wake up and live my life. Or when that football player recently said that his team's fan base basically, are Slavs. And they're jealous of him because he's rich and they got to work 9-to-5 jobs. See, this is the classism aspect of the sport that don't get talked about much. I know one thing, the players of the past, they didn't make as much money, but they knew how blessed they were to play a sport that people play for fun. Not saying it can't be difficult, because it is. Having to play at a high level and stay in the league, that's difficult. But at the same time, you get to play a sport for fun. That's fun for most people, I should say. There are people in our society that should be celebrated more. People that have to teach these badass kids, for one thing. The teachers that actually want to do their job and aren't around, doing other things that they shouldn't be doing. Firefighters, police officers. These are jobs that should be getting paid $400,000-$500,000 a year, not barely making ends meet. These people save lives and often risk their lives. But you got these millionaire pampered athletes crying about sleeping on air mattresses. And before you come here, look at them, stuck up for the white man. Look at them speaking up for the white man. Your boy is doing a podcast with J.J. Redick, Mr. Activist. He could be doing a podcast with Draymond Green. He could be doing a podcast with, Shannon Sharp, monopolizing. You know what I'm saying? Imagine he did a podcast with Shannon Sharp. No, but he wants to appeal to a certain demographic there. So because of that damn meathead, he's going to do a podcast there with J.J. Redick. He's trying to go after the white dollar there. Smart guy there. That LeBron James, he probably been hung around with a bunch of heaves there.